So we've had to start in this configuration because the sim just didn't like it. So we've started here and we've got the aircraft working. Okay, so now I want to go from cold and dark and fly in accordance with the manual. So I'm going to try another attempt at loading now that it's basically loaded the whole aircraft. I'm going to try and load it from a gate. Love you. Right, let's try here. Okay, so I'm just saying goodbye to my daughter who's off out for a walk. Okay, let's try here. See if we can get it in. Come on, you can do this. You can do it. Come on. Can't do it. Let's try again. I wonder if we multiple pause it. If we pause it multiple times, whether it'll work. Settings. Let's try and just do something different, can we? So it doesn't like it. I don't know how to get past this point. So let's do it from the runway. And I'll tell you what, we'll do it in reverse order, shall we? Let's go here. We'll do it reversed order. We'll do it from the start. We've just seen that we can load in starting at a runway. There we go. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Give it 20 seconds. There we go. Right, are we started? Yes, we are. Okay, so this is how it starts. We're used to seeing it like this now, and I think it just takes a moment to kind of like buffer. So it starts like this. And then if you give it a second, so I moaned about this yesterday, it almost takes a second just to just function. So we'll give it a second. If we get inside, it just kind of like starts up. There we go. Okay, so there is definitely an issue now with getting into the sim, particularly at parking spaces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the checklist from Miltech to shut it down. Okay, so at the moment it is started, I want to shut it down and I want to go from cold and dark. So I'm going to read the manual, and again I owe this to Miltech. They've said you didn't read the manual, so I'm going to read the manual. So going through it now, I'm just going to go through how to shut it down. Okay, there's a lot of important need to knows included on that is crash detection should be off. I don't like flying crash detection off, I just won't crash. Flight assist configuration, which deactivates vortex ring, okay. Real aircraft has a gearbox and drive shaft connected to both engines, yeah, because obviously if it turns one side, it's going to start spinning. This means by starting one engine, you'll see both props rotate. Yeah, fully expected. That's very much like the Chinook. In VTOL config and airspeed below 30 knots, the aircraft will start to roll, stall uncontrollably when vertical speed gets over 1500 foot per minute. Okay. You can hear the engines trying to spool up, look. Number 2 engine. This type of stall is common in helicopters and VTOL aircraft and requires special attention from the pilot when descending in VTOL mode. This can easily be avoided by controlling the descent speed and or airspeed. Avoid the red ever. Okay, cool. If you enter a vortex ring state, throttle up and reduce the nacelles angle to increase airspeed and gain lift. Yeah, okay. Vortex ring state simulation can be deactivated. engine start stop. Do not use the auto start stop feature. Okay. The lights. Okay. Engine limitations. It can afford a high RPM, but not for very long. Same with any engine. Tree settle failures. Flaps controls. Auto. Flaps can be manually operated. Yep. Use of the autopilot. Using the APLN mode only in the cells 0 degrees. It's better in aeroplane mode. Autopilot does work. Can be used during conversion, but functions are limited. Okay. Coupled arm light illuminates when autopilot is available. Auto hover function available. Pause in the sim. Do not active pause it. Press escape is fine. VTOL requires a custom coded flight dynamics. Okay, cool. Controller settings. Okay, so this is the first thing we saw yesterday. There was a problem with controllers. So let's just make sure that we've got our cowl flaps sorted. So if we go into controls and I go to here, type in cowl, just make sure I've got them activated. Should be shift 7, sorry, shift 4, shift 7. No, so I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go on here, search by input. Let's do it for, let's do this. Create. Default. Okay. Def. Default. Okay. Apply it to all. Okay. Right, and we'll go with the T-Flight HOTUS now. And we'll go on specific MV-22 stuff. Okay, it's not letting me do it. Set cowl flaps, increase cowl flap 4. So let's do that here as L3 down. L3 and L2. Okay. Decrease cowl flap 4. Let's say L3 and L1. Oh, it's not working. That didn't work. Let's try that again. Again, this is important that we do this. Controls. Let's go back to cowl flaps. So we've got L3 and L2. Let's go L3 and R2. Decrease cowl flap 4. L3 and R2. There we go. So we've got the cowl flaps. Increase and decrease cowl flap. Perfect. So we'll come out of there. So we've done that. That's what the manual tells us to do. We did do that yesterday. Okay, so the aircraft presents a few limitations of the depth of the system. Some systems not been modelled yet or require further development. Anti-ice, auto-NACs, aerial refueling, flight planning to world map only. Okay. Quick start guide. Okay. Realism settings need to be set to true life and crash detection must be off. This is a strict requirement for aircraft to function. Right, so let's do that then. General. Where's crash detection? I've never had to take it on. I've never had to take it off before. Flight interfaces. Crash, crash, crash. Where is it? Assistances. It's crash. Realism. Disable crash damage. Okay. Don't like that, but we'll do it. Okay, here we go. So crash is off. You must map 2 controller buttons. Done that. Okay. MSFS sets the starting flight mode based on type of location for the flight. Parking is cold and dark. Runway ready to fly. This guide will be starting from a parking location cold and dark. All flight plans to be created. Film payloads. By default, the aircraft always starts in hard flight mode. Under this mode, the aircraft is prone to vortex ring state. Okay. Easy. Normal procedures. Right. Let's go to engine shutdown first, and then we'll start it. Engine shut off. Okay. Throttle control levers to close idle. The sails at 90 degrees. They are. Parking brake set. Parking brake is set. I know that. Engine 1 and 2 control levers to off. Oh. Let's go back. Cool. Blade fold and wing stow procedure as required. CBFWS process checklist. So it's procedure checklist. Right. So external lights to off. So we'll come into here. And we'll go, if I can remember, it's lights. master control to off. There we go. MFDs and CDUs and that off. So again, we'll do it, although we are going to put these back on in just a moment. Off. I think the APU must be running because I've still got power, unless that's the battery. Off. 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 That's because that's the emergency one. That's not got an off mode, I don't think. What have we got here? APU is off. Cockpit lighting off. Okay, battery off. See if we can get the rotor brake on. Whether that works. There we go. So, congratulations, you have finished your first flight of Osprey. Okay. Right, with the Miltech Solutions handbook, it states about you can go from the carrier products. Obviously, that's not available on PS5 yet. So it says normal procedures, and it says here normal procedures. There's two lot of normal procedures. Okay. So what are these other normal procedures? Pre-start, landing gear down, flaps auto. Okay. I'm just going through the manual. Other procedures, we've got blade, fold, unfold wing procedures, stow procedures. We've got single engine operations and engine failure, approach using nav, in-flight refueling, fuel dumping, hardware binding guide, and it tells you about the systems. Okay, so this is more like it. This is more up my street when we talk about systems. I haven't read the full information about all the systems, but I'm just going to follow Right, I'm going to follow the normal procedures checklist. So first thing we're going to do is I want to get the aircraft into a stowed configuration. Okay, so imagine that we've put it into a hangar and we're going to bring it in. So flight ready to full stow. Okay, so it tells you engine control levers to off. NR check 0, it is. Rotor brake to off, so we'll bring rotor brake to off. Battery to on. So battery to on. APU to run and engage. So we'll let that run up a second. So again, I want to get this to stowed and then we'll start again from the start. Quickly get these on just so we can see what we're doing. Okay, APU is engaged. You can see the hydraulic now is coming up, so there'll be an auxiliary pump. We'll leave the lights off for now. Okay, so while that's loading its the APU up, let's have a very quick look outside. And you can see where my frustrations lie with how kind of like cartoony it looks. And again, I know that there's going to be teething issues, and I found out today from Miltech that their prices are the same across the board for all their platforms. So again, we look at the realism of the components of the undercarriage. Again, they don't look as real as, for example, the PMDG stuff. Again, I accept that there's limitations on PlayStation, but that does not look like a real shock strut and undercarriage. Again, I'm well placed to put that. I am an aircraft engineer. I know what these things should look like. And again, one of my other frustrations where it just goes off into nothing here. I mean, that looks a little bit better. As we go into the rear, this one goes into nothing. You can see here, goes into nothing. And again, when you look at the detail on the H125 that I reviewed when I first started streaming, it was decent. And you can see wire lock-in on the gearboxes, for example. This has none of that. I mean, you've got the hydraulic pipelines here for the brakes, and you've got some micro switches there for the weight on wheels, etc. I can imagine they are for, without going into the undercarriage system. And then obviously you've got this this ram here for the undercarriage doors. But then coming across, it just doesn't give me that feel of a real aircraft. which is fine. Miltech have said that this is only version 1 and they are working on a version 2. I mean, that sort of stuff, look at the resolution on that. But again, it's like, just don't release it. I know people want it, but people would want a half decent product. Like the resolution and the graphics there are just poor. And I know that the PlayStation can produce them. So the general exterior model, whilst, you know, if I go out here, you can tell it's an Osprey, the detail's quite poor. And then we get this flicker in here, look. There's either a strobe party going on inside or something's going wrong with that. So again, the modelling's not that fantastic. Let's have a quick look at the engines. APU's now fully loaded up. I mean, the details on the blades looks alright. When they were down a minute ago, you could see it. Let's have a look at the motors and the gears here. Cool. Anyway, let's get in. We've got the APU running. So we're going to get the blades folded. So APU running gauge, hydraulic pressure, check normal. Hydraulic pressure, number 3 system, there we go, is normal. Area is clear. MFD. Where are we? MFD. It's, hang on a minute. It's this one, isn't it? So, system, lost my bearings then. System. BFWS. Set. Okay. So it tells you there should be a set button. There's no set button. Unless it just says we got to set it. But anyway. Flight ready. Verify white with a star. Yes, it is. Full stow. Select. Full stow. Rotor lock. Select on MFD. Verify white with an asterisk. Rotor lock. Observe the NAC position to 90 degrees. Yes. Prop rotor blades index and lock. So let's have a look. There we go. They're indexing. So obviously they'll get to a certain position. Very much like a Merlin and a Sea King. This has the, obviously has a set date and where one of the blades need to go. There they go. They're across the wings. Left and right blades fold. Should be the next one. Let's see what it says on the screen. Flat position. So again, I'm looking at that thinking I've got an action to take. There they are. They're folding. So I was impatient with this yesterday. The nacelles lower. And then there's a wing lock pin retraction. What's it say on here? Lower nacelles. Okay. Now this is where I get impaled in a second, I think. Wing lock pin retraction and wing stow and then full stow verify. So if that comes around, I think I'm going to get impaled. So here it comes. Okay. Cool. Now, so yesterday when this happened, we had a blade through the windscreen. Sequence complete. Is that going to come through? So there we go. So sequence is complete. So let's have a look what that looks like from out here. Perfect. Okay, so that looks fine. Yesterday, this blade was coming through the windscreen. Cool. So that is obviously so it can get into hangars and ships. Looks cool. So again, as someone that works on automatic blade fold systems, I think that it's not as intuitive on here because when I was looking at this yesterday, bear in mind I didn't have the access to the manual yesterday. I thought that those were actions that we need to take. So it was telling us what to do. For example, on a Merlin, there's positions you have to put the collective lever in, there's positions you've got to put the blades in, etc. And there's actions you've got to have, including pushing the collective down. On this, it appears to be fully automatic. Without knowledge of the system, which I'm not going to have, but without the manual, I'm not going to know that. So now that I've got the manual, that helps. So from full stow to flight ready, let's have a go. Let's do that. Engine control levers, check off. They're off. NR, check 0%. There's definitely no rotation speed there. Rotor brake is off. Battery is on, APU's running, hydraulic pressure is normal. Area is clear. Okay, we've got this screen now. It tells us to go to full stow, verify white with an asterisk. Flight ready, select. FLT RDY, flight ready, select. Rotor lock, select on MFD, verify white. There we go. Observe the flaps positioned to 0 degrees. Let's have a look. We'll look at from outside. There you go. You can hear it motoring now. That is a good touch. That is a nice touch. The sound of the motor. We'll stay out here, I think, and watch it. I wonder if we can hear the lock in a minute. Okay, so once it gets there, the wings are going to, the nacelles are going to race 90 degrees. There they go. Can't hear those motors. Unless. That's pretty good. After this, we're going to hopefully hear the wing lock pins. Now again, on a Merlin that I work on, you can hear all of the sequences for the blade fold. No, can't hear that. Blades unfold. And these are basically positioned by lock pin actuators and rotating actuators. So you should be able to hear a motor, hopefully. Let's see, let's wait for it. So again, a moment ago yesterday when we were doing this, we were really impatient and we were thinking that we had to do stuff. Let's have a look. Okay, what's going on now? It seems to have stopped. So I'm expecting now the blades to unfold. Let's get another look what it's doing. Unfold blades. Okay, there we go. It just happened as I've gone in. And out. There we go. And they'll rotate now to their flight position. There we go. Cool, and hopefully that's now spread complete. Perfect, flight ready. Now the last mode is, let's go to fold horizontal, let's see what happens here. So engine control levers check off, NR is 0, rotor brake off, battery check, APU running engage, hydraulic pressure normal, area clear. We've now gone flight ready, verify white, and we've clicked on fold horizontal. So now the NAC positions to 90 degrees. We'll go outside and read this, watch this again. The cells at 90 degrees, yes. Props, blade, index and lock. You can see them. Are they moving? Have they moved? Again, if I go inside and come back out. What's it say? Rotor lock at the moment, so obviously takes a moment. And again, being not versed with the real world system for blade fold on a Osprey, I don't know how long these take. So prop blades index and lock, left and right blades fold. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Can't see anything happening at the moment. Just check everything that we've got. So rotor lock, verify white. So it's struggling with the rotor lock at the moment. Look. So do I press it? Rotor lock. There we go. So I had to do that. There we go. It's moving now. So it says rotor lock, verify. Oh no, rotor lock select on MFD. No, that's my fault again. Rotor lock. There we go. Flap position now. It's changing the flaps. You can see them moving. That's me too keen to come and have a look outside, which is why I went back to the checklist. You can hear the motor in. So those were the flaps. The next bit is flaps position 0 degrees and then sails lower, hopefully. Let's see what happens. What's happening now? Fold blade. That's obviously not us. Okay, is that waiting for an action on me? Nope. So the sails come down. Let's see. Fold horizontal. I'm going to assume that they don't smash into the canopy. Did they miss it? There we go. So I've never seen that before. There we go. So it works. Cool. So again, it's very important to say when we're wrong. But actually, the fold sequence yesterday again, it made me feel like not having had this manual, that it was waiting for our actions to take. That we had to put the flaps down. We had to do this, but it's fully automatic. So yep, my fault for yesterday. Okay, let's go back to flight ready. You can see they're going up already. Let's go back outside and watch it, and then we'll get the engine started and we'll go and have a little flight. So I do like that system. So it does say now, what have I got to do? Flight ready, verify, rotor lock, select on MFD, verify white. So let's make sure that the rotor lock's on. Rotor lock is on, cool, so I don't have to do anything. There you go. So blades coming up. They're now turning. And then I'll deselect rotor lock. Perfect, when it's ready for me. There you go, it's deselected. Cool, so new impression, the blade fold system is pretty decent. Okay, and again, I'll always admit, and I'm always happy to admit when I'm wrong. Okay, let's go to the normal checklist now for this. So, normal procedure, simulation use only. Do not use this documentation on a real aircraft. Okay. Fly start on the Miltech camera products. Okay, cool. Right, pre-start. Let's go. So, landing gear is down. Flaps are at auto. Displays should be off. We'll turn them all. Let's have a look. Does it tell us to put them on in a minute? No, it doesn't. So basically the pre-start, we'll make sure that the rotor brakes off, control levers are both off, APU stop, cockpit lights, emergency egress off, secondary cockpit lighting off, cargo hoist mode, everything's off at the moment except for obviously the APU, the battery and the displays. And the blade on full. Right, power start, battery is on, APU is running, turn on all displays. And we'll go on to day mode. Obviously the difference there being the brightness. Day, confirm here. Perfect. Okay, exterior lights as required, interior lights as required. So let's set this up how we normally would. We'll just put normal strobe, we'll get the controls on. Position lights, both. Position bright. Position will go steady. Exterior lights, menu 1. Menu 2. Tip light. You can only go top or bottom. Let's go top. Formation lights, let's go level 5. Let's go level 6. Landing gear lights, auto. Okay, so what we can do now is if we step outside, hopefully you can see the lights are on. Can't really see them in this brightness here, but we'll have a look in a minute. We'll set the weather to dark. I can see the formation lights there on. I can't see the tip lights, but it is very bright. Landing gear lights. I mean, they were on last night. They're not on now. Is it something I've done? Let's have a look. Master's on. Normal. Okay, we'll leave it for now. Okay, engine start up. So how to start the engines, let's go. Set the CDU on ICAS display or MFD as stat engines display, okay. So stat, and then engine, is it this one here? Engine, good, okay. Parking brake is on. Verify on. It's off, there you go, verify on. Rotor brake is off. Rotor brake is off. Rotor lock is off. We've already done that a minute ago. Fuel quantity check. So if we go to here and click system. Sorry, is it stat? Fuel, plenty of fuel there. Nacelles are at 90 degrees. Again, we can verify that through the MFD here. Check aircraft is clear from obstacles. It's clear we're going to miss that building. Yep, we are. Going to be a little bit over it. Move engine to control lever to the start position. So, down 1. Start. ICAS NG gain an RPM. You can see that there. 8, 9. That's generator speed. It'll gain it after 30 seconds. Obviously, the engine has got to start. Wait for the power turbine, which is MP, to stabilize at 72. So it's a little bit out, but it'll come down hopefully. Oh no, it's 70. Reading the wrong one. Switch respective engine control lever to fly. This is awkward on the mouse wheel. It is down to go up and up to go down. There we go. Fly. Does that change anything here? Engine 1, wait for MP to stabilize at 70 to 72. Switch to respect. Yep, done that. Cool. Ideal. Okay. And let's do number 1 to start. And again, you can see here the number 1's already spinning. That's because obviously they're connected by a drive shaft. Watch this as well. I think some of my frustrations yesterday were the fact that the same issues we've had today, it took us half hour to get to this point, and we still had to do it by starting on a helipad. Okay, set that to fly. That'll come down to 72. There we go, perfect. Okay, so one thing I've noticed here, and again, I can't see any generator switches, so I'm assuming that it's they're automatic. Okay, primary lighting, leave all that, mode, day, test. Does this work? Can't see anything there. Emergency egress. Actually, I want to do this purely by the checklist, although that emergency egress is in the EFB checklist. It's not on here. Okay, taxi. Disengage the APU to the stop position. Down, down. Engine control levers both to fly, yes. Parking brake off. Nacelles and throttle as required, minimum 60 degrees. So nacelles and throttle as required. So let's check that. So parking brake's on at the moment. Let's check the buttons. So again, you have to hold it. So it says here minimum 60 degrees. For a taxi. So there we go. So we're at minimum 60 degrees. Let's have a look, see what that looks like. Perfect. So that's now producing that thrust coming down this way. Obviously that thrust can hit the floor, and that's what allows us to taxi forward. So that's good. Nacelles throttle required, minimum 60 degrees, speed under 20 knots. Okay, so let's have a look. Runway 11's active, so we're going to come out of there. We'll take a left and a right. So parking brake to off. Tell you what, let's have another quick look around the cockpit here a minute. Jammer, jettison, program mode. What is this? Doesn't work. Okay. 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 Cool. Anyway, let's just go. What are those buttons there first before I actually take off? We'll know what's on here. Field of view, slew, lace, lays. So that's for the flare, I'm assuming, based on some of that information that's on there. Okay, are these buttons you can use? No. Are these buttons you can use? No. Okay, let's have a little taxi. So parking brake off. I'm going to ignore that the QNH is currently wrong. Actually, no, let's not ignore it. Let's do it properly. Let's do it properly. And again, I don't think that's... No, that's not in there. So let's get the information for where we are. We are Cold Rose. Let's get its QNH. 1024, quite high today. Right, so let's have a look. Is there a dial for that? Where is the dial for barometric pressure? Unless I can put it into here. Let's have a look. Barometric pressure, here we go. We can do it on here. That's pretty cool. So let's have a look what that is in inches of mercury. So 1024 hectopascals to INHG is, it was 1024, wasn't it? Yeah. 30.24. So let's do that. There. No, it's not. Let me do that. Let's try again. 0.24. Altitude should change, hopefully. 24. And enter. There we go. Altitude's changed. So that's good. Roughly 300 foot above sea level. 277. That's close enough. Cool, so that's a good little function as well. Right out low setting 3000. Cool. Okay, so let's taxi then. Parking brake to off. We're going to get some forward movement straight away, I'd expect. No? Okay. So, a little bit collective. There we go. And it said in the handbook maximum of 20 knots for the taxi, so we'll taxi out. Go via Victor. Does it give me my ground speed on here? It's got the 9. What we'll do, we'll get it flying and we'll test it properly. I think yesterday, I mean, judging by the start of it, I'm still frustrated at the start and the fact that you can't load up in a gate. And that I am frustrated by the graphics and how it looks. I appreciate that they've still got a little bit of work to do on the PlayStation. I am still of the opinion that I think it's been rushed for the price. I still think £30 is too steep for it. Okay, look left, look right. Okay, look left. We're going a little bit above 20 knots there. There we go. And we're going to turn left here. I'm going to head over the Cornish coastline. I'm going to go down this taxiway, so this runway here, and turn right at that runway there. So the cold roads have got 6 runways, obviously 3 individual runways, but 2 ends. And what we'll have to do in a minute, we'll turn this into night mode and have a flight at night. As we come in, okay, that'll do. Parking brake. Okay, before takeoff, flaps set to auto. Flaps are set to auto. Fuel quantity, we checked that a minute ago, we've got plenty, we've got just under 50%. There we go, look. Perfect. Decide if takeoff we veto or stall. So we'll take off as we are now, do like a running takeoff. Contact tower for takeoff clearance, radio frequencies. Okay, doors and ramp closed. Now I am interested to see if we can get the doors and ramps open. Ramp door, door mode, manual. So let's go to, is it manual open? Is that how you do it? I'd have to have a look in the manual in a minute. And the chocks are just magically coming on. There we go, ramps coming out. Cool. Okay. Side door. Let's open that one. Okay. So they work. So the ramp and the side door. We'll close them up just for the flight. Expecting that to come off. There we go, chocks automatically applied. Cool, so the chocks obviously triggered by the parking brake. Okay, check minimum takeoff weight for stall, taxi to the runway, taxi position, check areas clear from obstacles. Nacelles as required, depending on available runway, normally 60 to 75. Takeoff stall, observe NG indications to avoid engine stress. Airborne conversion, observe aircraft attitude, level, observe engine RPM stays in the green, landing gear up, gain speed and gradually rotate nacelles forward. Observe conversion corridor indication in the PFD. Yeah, got that. Gain altitude above 130 knots. The cells can rotate to 0. Set and activate autopilot. So let's go and have a look. Right, so Check right, check left, check right again, park and brake off, taxi forward. So the nacelles are currently at 60, and we'll brake here. Have a look, see how much runway we've got. We should have quite a bit. Yeah, we've got enough here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the nacelles up a little bit more. That's going down. Let's go up. So you can see there, so it gives us a little bit more flex with the runway we've got. Okay, so let's go. Get some of that speed up. There we go. That's looking fine. There we go, we're airborne. So positive rate gear up. As we get that speed, let's bring those nacelles down. You see the green corridor now. As we bring them down, they're still coming down. The corridor is increasing as we're increasing airspeed. We'll get them to a solid 90 degrees. Let's climb up. There we go. Beautiful. So just verify, we're flying we're on a little climb here. It's currently at +3. Let's get that to 0. There we go. So fully airplane mode now, good speed, and we'll climb away. And there we go. Right, so we've got the armed mode now for the autopilot, which it says in the checklist to carry out. Let's have a look. So let's bring that trim down a little bit. And we're looking good on all the gauges so far, as you can see here. 88. NR's 88 and P's 88, torque's at 95. And we'll come up. So this is more enjoyable than yesterday. Again, really frustrating start. But let's have a look now. So conversion, max speed for conversion is 200 knots. Yep, ideal conversion is 150 to 170. Limit nacelles to 75 degrees under 40 knots. And nacelles 75 degrees below average rate of descent is no more than 1500, okay? Cool. Ideal cruise altitude is 17,000. The default climb rate is 1,000 foot per minute, so I'm obviously climbing very high there because I've taken my hand off the controls to read the manual. So this is cool. So I'm just going to have a look now. So you can do the landing there, taxi, shuffle, other procedures. Let's have a look. So let's have a look at how the autopilot behaves. So let's set our speed for 240. Again, I'm going to try and guess this before I read it. Arm, activate, altitude. Let's go for. Seeing you got a rebrand. Yeah, we have. Yeah, we've. There's 2 of us now that do this now, and we usually do it together as well. And let's go to 10,000. Let's hold the speed. Let's get the altitude, and we'll keep the heading currently out. Let's see if it changes it for us. Let's go 132, see if it does it. There we go. So I've asked it for 9,500. So it's going down. Let's see if it holds it. So I'm just trying out the Miltech Osprey at the moment. We had a few issues with it yesterday. I do think that those were brought on by myself not having the manual. Now I've found the manual and I've been alerted to it. I'm enjoying it a bit more. Speed's currently set at 240. Obviously we are descending, which is why that speed's going to be quite high. Let's see if it stops us at 9,500 like we've asked it to. And we'll start turning back towards Coldrose. There we go. I'm expecting it to hold us now at 9,500. Let's see what it does. Let's have a look. You see the nav lights now on the rotors? You can see why you don't, you can't taxi with it in airplane mode straight away. Look at the rotors, how far they come down. It's holding at 9,500. I think yesterday I was just frustrated. I mean the what's it called? The issues at the start, the graphics are frustrating, the fact it's £30 is frustrating. But again, according to Miltech, it's the same price across all platforms. So I'm assuming that the marketplace is the same marketplace, you just activate it and tailor it to PS5. I didn't know that you can't change the price. So there we go, that's coming in. Okay, so let's have a look at what it tells us to do in terms of the cells for landing. I'm just going to land on any part of Coldrose that I can. So let's have a look for approach. Okay, for the descent rate is 1,000 foot per minute. Okay. Keep indicated speed below 200, so let's go down to 200 straight away. Let's go to 180. So you can see it slowing down already. We'll take it to 180 and we'll try getting into the VTOL. Not yet. Max speed for conversion is 200. Okay, so we're going to be below that once we slow down. Ideal conversion is 150 to 170. Okay, so let's go down to 160. We'll go straight in the middle of that. So, is it a smooth flight? Yesterday we had issues. Getting into it, we still had issues. You can see it is really smooth here. I am running the autopilot at the moment. We're just going to try and do the an approach now into Coldrose. And we're going to try and come down as the in VTOL, but I am doing this along with Miltech's user guide, their flight manual. So just taking me a little bit longer because I want to make sure I get it right. Because yesterday I didn't have this and I slagged the product off, So I just want to make sure I'm getting it right for them. And the sail 75 degrees. Beware of rate of descent is no more than 1,500 foot per minute. Otherwise, the risk of vortex ring state is high. Note that from 180 knots indicated to 0, hover conversion requires around 18 meters in length. Reserve landing spot is clear. Adjust speed in the sail angle. And gear flaps auto. Okay, so I'm happy. Let's start reducing the altitude to 3,000. Let me just read that in a second. Let me get this to 3,000 and I'll give you my opinion so far. If you saw my video from yesterday, I was really frustrated with this. But again, I didn't have the manual and I didn't see it on the marketplace. It tells you have to go onto Miltech's website to get it. So that was my bad. Yesterday I gave it 3.5 stars out of 10. At the moment on the marketplace, it's currently getting around 3 to 3.5 stars. It's got 1 star at the moment. That's not from me, by the way, which would equate to around a 6.5, 6.7 out of 10. I'd say that's where I'm at with it, if I'm completely honest with you. I know, I mean, the Miltech's answer to it this morning when I said that all these were pretty much cut off. They were like, well, yeah, it's a military map. Sorry, it's a military aircraft. I get that. I understand that more than anyone, considering I work on military aircraft. But yeah, it's the functionality is a bit okay. I'm just trying to see now if I can use the flirt. No, I can't. So again, there's a flare mode, but you can't actually use it. Let's go back to nav. But it's, you know, this bit of it is smooth. It's coming down nice and slowly. Again, it's saying it wants the 1500. I'm just coming near to Coldrose at the moment, so I'll do another orbit in a minute. Just waiting for it to come down itself. And then we'll have a go. What other comment did you put on there? Sorry, let's have a look. I haven't purchased it and only seen vids from PC, but nice to see a PS5 user. Yeah, thank you very much. Like I said, I used it yesterday. I was really frustrated for it. It did just take me half an hour just to get into it. It's not a sim problem. It's definitely an Osprey issue because I was able to get in on an Albatross. I can't remember the other two aircraft I used. But I was able to get into the sim, walk around the aircraft and that. This didn't let me do it. So it's something that I will definitely feed back to Miltech and just say, look, this has got to be an Osprey thing. I don't know whether it spawns you up as your figure, as your pilot, too close to the aircraft, you kind of get stuck into it, but it's not ideal. Had issue with the mapping of the nacelles yesterday. That seems to have sorted itself now that I've put it onto a controller as opposed to a keyboard. I was talking about the graphics. I think when you look at it like this, it's okay. When you get closer to the aircraft, the graphics are quite poor. When you look at the undercarriage and landing gear, bearing in mind that the engineer inside me, I know exactly what I'd expect a brake pack to look like, a shock strut to look like, an oleo to look like. These look like they've been painted on Microsoft Paint, if I'm being blunt and honest. So if you're after graphics, not quite yet. They have said, and so I don't quote Miltech and get it wrong, let me just go on to what they commented on my post. I'll read you the post because I put this on a Facebook group saying that it's basically poor. They didn't like it, as in Miltech, and they've put, rather than say the aircraft is not ready, it must be understood that this aircraft is now over 5 years old since it was released. It is a 2020 aircraft product built on legacy standards technology that is now ported over to FS24 and PS5 due to popular demand. Now, again, my personal opinion is don't port it over to PS5 and Flight Sim 24 unless it's ready, because you just, at the end of the day, Miltech, they've got a good name. They've got a good name, and if they're porting it over before it's ready, that name, the reputation, it's nah. It's not something I would do. Obviously, they are the professionals at this, not me. I'd wait until it's ready. I'd beta it out, or I'd do whatever. I'd beta it, and I'm working on it on the development side on the background before I release it. As such, the visual fidelity does indeed not match that of the current standards. They agree with me, which is good. You may take a look at our MH60, for example. Bear in mind that I've got the MH60 and I think it's brilliant. As such, it must be understood as a product of the era it was released. You may see this occur with other releases on Marketplace as PS5 is getting more widespread access to the aircraft. Now, regarding the crossed out pages, most of these are either classified, I get it, I work with classified aircraft, or documentation is limited. Again, I get it. I would rather not have them. I'll be completely honest with you. Rather than have them crossed out, I'd rather not have them. Or they just don't apply to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Beyond that, all modelled systems work and should be, for the most part, bug-free, given that this aircraft has been over the 5 years and most bugs have been addressed. Okay, bearing in mind we are on PS5 and not PC or Xbox, it is going to be a little bit different. I'm just going to fly in circles around here at the moment while this gets down. Regarding poor system configuration, please note we have a very detailed manual going over all the functions. This is quite a unique aircraft, and as noted in the description, the manual must be read to understand. Okay, they got me on that, and again, I've got no problem to say I was naive yesterday. I didn't even see that they had a manual for this, and having not flown since Flight Simulator X, a Miltech Solutions aircraft with a manual, I completely forgot. So they got me on that one. They say that I was following the checklist on the EFB, which misses lots of context. Again, I'm going to be that guy that states these checklists are what most people are going to use. It's what I went for. This is what I went for. these should be accurate. Now, these are just, I'm going to guess, a PDF file or a Word file, whatever, however they are in PlayStation world. They should be accurate. Make them accurate. And if need be, for Blade Fold, set one of these. I mean, you can hear transition VTOL to airplane mode. Put a new one in. State how people can go from a folded configuration to a spread configuration, spread to folded. Again, it's these little details. They've also stated that as for future improvements, indeed these will come. That's good to hear. We are releasing the aircraft on PS5 now due to popular demand. Again, I'm against that. I think it's wrong. They shouldn't be doing that. There is popular demand, but just say to the people that are demanding it, we're working on it. We're going to get it to you. As soon as we can, we will get it to you. But for the meantime, just be patient. Enjoy the Black Hawk. Native for SS24 will come at some point in the future for the V2. Again, I thought they said something about doing VR. We'll have a look. Anyway, let me carry on with their response. To further clarify the points talked in the video, the lights are operated from the CDU in the real aircraft. No physical switches in the overhead except for the cockpit lighting. Yeah, we did find that. We did find the switches in the end through the CDU. And again, I'm not familiar with Osprey. They're going to be a lot more familiar with it than I am. The aircraft does sit within the cells at 0 and the blades unfolded while on the ground. Search for parked Osprey on Google and you'll find a number of photos. I did do that yesterday. Couldn't see it. I'm guessing that must mean that the blades are spread and it comes down in its pinned position, which is fine. I didn't see it. Okay, they said the BFWS procedure is often executed only on ships. Get that. I work on ships. I've been on all the carriers and all that sort of stuff. I get it. Marketplace does not support different descriptions for PC, Xbox, and PS5. I didn't know that. That's good to know. Hence, there is a common description for all platforms. Didn't know that. The link to the manual is listed on the second line of the product description. I worked that out this morning when they said that. I don't know why. Something in my head, and again, I've apologized for this, something in my head just said the top line was basically the buy this product now, which it usually is. And then I backed it up again in this review. I did back that up with this in this review, saying that actually they have put it in on the Chinook, but the link to the manual is right at the bottom, and that's where I expected it to be. So again, naivety on my part. I didn't read the top line. My fault. Constructive criticism is valid when founded on facts. Unfortunately, the video is recorded without proper familiarization with the aircraft and its product manual, and it completely misses. Yep, and I acknowledge that, and I've even said to them on that thing that I've acknowledged it. Something else that also came out, which was very interesting, was they cannot adjust the pricing. Hence why the options to rent are for a very low cost. I will be honest, I don't think the price to rent it is a low cost. For this for 24 hours has cost me £5. I disagree, it's low cost. When you think about the amount of youngsters that will play this, I'm fortunate, I've got a good job, no problem whatsoever, £5, whatever, £30 here and there, whatever. When you've got a lot of youngsters that also play this, it's not really a lot. So again, it's tailoring to your market. So the question I asked was, so the pricing on Marketplace can't be changed based on what platform you're selling on. They've said correct. It's a unified pricing and description across all platforms. Due to the conversion to SIM coins, it does seem more expensive on PS5 Marketplace than the others. Now, my opinion on this, again, I would expect much more complexity. I would expect much more detail. I'd expect much more system integration on a PC than an Xbox, on a PlayStation. I understand that a PC and a console are incomparable. I would expect to pay more on a PC, and that's just me as a consumer. Let's just turn this around again, 180 degrees. I can't believe that actually that the Marketplace prices are the same. I think that is a little bit crazy, but it is what it is. Did they write anything else? View hidden comments. No, they didn't really say anything else. So Miltech, you're probably, I'm going to put this on the group chat again. I've tagged you in it. Got off on the wrong foot with this aircraft yesterday. I'll be completely honest there. Again, I was using the EFB checklist, so you can take a little bit of blame yourselves on that one, dudes. But generally, other than the startup issues that we've been experiencing, it's not too bad. My opinion on it is I wouldn't pay £30 for it. Sorry. That's just how I am. I wouldn't pay 30 quid for it. Not until, you know, I'm sure that the V2 will be better. Hopefully. We'll see. Right, anyway, let's have a go at getting out of autopilot mode. Let's have a go at flying. So I'm happy here that it's saying to limit the sail 75 degrees plus for speeds under 40 knots, which is fine. So we won't go past 75 degrees. Again, it is quite hard to see here. We'll fly it like this for a minute so we can actually view it within the sails. Right, we're going to take the autopilot off. There we go. And we'll slow down ourselves and we'll take control. And I'm going to head over to Coldrose. You've got Prodanic just down here. And it says about the vertical speed not above 1500. So I'm going to try and trim that out now. And you can see the nacelles will give us a corridor. So let's come down a little bit more. There we go. Good. So I'm just going to try and get that horizon. There we are. And you'll see that corridor will hopefully, as we start to slow down. There we go. Really hard to find that bite. Trying to trim it as we go. Let's slow the aircraft down. Hopefully that corridor will start to... There we go. Just waiting for that corridor to start showing. Let's see if I can get these up. Okay. Limit that vertical speed here. Oh, okay. I don't know what's just happened there. Let's come back down. What happened there? As I was trying to bring the nacelles in. So again, let's get down to a low speed, low vertical climb. Let's trim for that at this speed. I'm just going to land in any field here. I'm not going to necessarily land on the runway. Okay, let's have a look at getting those nacelles in. Let's slow down. There we go. So what's it doing? I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know why it's doing that. It's currently got me at 0. Let me bring it back down. My flap's set to auto. Let's have a quick look. This is the worst bit. Flaps are set to auto. Right, let's try again. What am I doing wrong? Now at the moment when I'm unlocking basically that nacelle first off, it's getting in a grump with me. Oh, we've got a multiplayer here coming to join us. So let's bring it down. So this is the maximum rate of descent we want to take. I'm just going to find a field to land this in, by the way. Okay, so we've got the speed there. Let me just quickly put it back into autopilot mode and read it again. So let's go to heading, speed and altitude, and actual, heading, speed, altitude. Let's let that do that. Let it get hold of it. Right, let's read what it says. So land in VTOL, limit nacelle angle under 40 knots, yeah. Don't descend below 1500 foot per minute, fine. Where's the speed? Ideal conversion is 150 to 170, so we're probably a little bit too fast. So that's got here for us. So let's go. So 150, between 150 and 170. Let's say 160. Let's speed that up. My God, it's very, very sensitive. 160 nacelles. Let's go. That's the gear, isn't it? Okay. Let's bring that back up. That's the wrong keybind. Nacelles. There we go. Okay, so initial click, it makes you want to fly up. Okay, so here we go. So we're bringing it down. We're going to land. We will turn it around. We will go for the runway. Right, we don't want to stall, so let's speed that up a little bit. Okay, right, we've got that bit. So it's just that initial act, kind of like activating them. That was a bit of an issue. Okay, we'll spin now. We'll turn around. Give it 30 degrees. There we go. And we'll control that climb. There we go. We'll see what it's like. Got plenty of time to get down. We won't try. We'll try not to drop the speed, the vertical speed below 1500 foot per minute. Cool. So this is okay. See Coldrose. It's down in that gap on the peninsula. As we come in, we'll see Houston. Okay, let's limit that. There's Coldrose down there. Okay, let's bring the speed down, the cells, let's bring them in. You see them travelling now. Oh, wrong button. Again. There we are. And let's limit that vertical speed, shall we? There we go. As we bring it in. Good forward speed still. See the runway there. Bring that gear down. As we come in. Gears down. There's the runway. Not worried about the height above it at the moment. We're going on the shorter one. Bring those nacelles in. And again, it wants you to be at below 75 degrees at 40 knots. Okay, so we'll start limiting that vertical speed again. There we are. Bring them in, nice and slowly. Land for the end. Gonna aim for the end of the runway. I am too high. We'll lower the speed. Being careful of that vertical speed as well. I want to follow what they're saying. I probably will end up doing a little orbit here. We'll turn left just while we're getting used to it, and we'll come down the other runway. Again, it's important that I try and get used to this. Give it as much time as we can. Again, I don't want to blame the developer, so I need to make sure that I'm flying it well. So I'm going to climb back up to around 2,500, that'll do. Let's get another bit of angle of bank on it, there we are. There's the Halford Passage. Lovely river to sail down. We'll try and land it. Okay. And we'll do a left turn now. So a right turn. Left, don't know my left from my right. We'll get it around, slow that aircraft down. That'll do, come down here. Look at those wingtips, that looks cool. That does look cool. Bit scary. Put your head out there to get some air and you chop your head off. Okay, going to start bringing this height down now as well. There's the runway. Okay, bring that speed off. Getting those nacelles in. There we go. So again, but 75 degrees, it says below 40 knots. This is quite smooth. Again, we've got auto flaps on at the moment. Okay, let's have a look at the landing checklist. We're going to land VTOL, observe the wind speed and direction, adjust the speed and the sails, landing gear extended, flaps auto, 300 level fuselage altitude and start turning final, moving the sails 90 degrees. Yeah, we'll do that as we go. Just seen another comment. We'll look at that in a minute. God, look at that where I've got my eyes off. Okay, slow down. Slow down, slow down, slow down. I shouldn't have took my eyes off it. Okay, bring them in. Now, I can't read that very well. I'm currently descending too much. Again, I'm trying to do more than one thing. So again, that approach is pretty poor, but it's because I'm trying to look at the checklist as well. What I should do is try and memorize it. Right, here we go. So slow down. Get those nacelles out. There we go. Now let's get in here. A bit more throttle because I can feel it coming down. I'm going to use the whole runway. This gives me time to get aligned with it. Okay, I'm going to bring them up now into vertical. There we go. Okay, got a bit of wind here. There we are.
Sink rate, sink rate, sink
yeah, okay, I'm
rate.
over 1,000 foot per minute. There we go.
Sink rate.
I'm over 1,000 foot per minute. There's the stall. Okay, that's my fault. Just not controlling it very well, but it's the first time I've done this,
Sink
other than
rate,
yesterday, of course.
Rate, sink rate.
So there we go. So let's get them up properly. Start sending it vertical. There we go. So there's that little backwards movement, bit of collective. So it's not bad. I definitely must have been in a bad mood with it yesterday. And again, I am glad that I've given it a second attempt. Let's get on here. But I still, again, I think it's got potential. I do think it's got potential. But I don't think at this time it's worth the money, if I'm being honest, at the moment. But again, that's the beauty of opinions. Everyone's got one. Yeah, let me just see the comments. Let's get onto YouTube again. Shame because I love the MH60 they did. I completely agree. I love the Black Hawk. They do sit with blades fully extended at Mildenhall sometimes. Again, I've never been up there. I don't know. When I did look yesterday on Google for Park Osprey, I assumed that you could do it so long as your blades were at a right angle. I've just not seen a picture of it. I'll have a look at that in a minute. So again, I stand corrected. Do you know what the default button input is for moving the cells on the PS5 controller? So there's no default button. Again, I would advise to read the manual. It's something what I had to. If you go to settings and you go to controls, and if you type in here cowl, C-O, yeah, you see up there, I've got it. Oh, it's not done it. Let's go back. Let's do it with the mouse. It's better. It's easier. Cowl flaps. Where are we? Cowl. You'll see here that on the HOTAS 4, which I'm using, you have to decrease cowl flaps 4, increase cowl flaps 4. Okay, and that will give you the ability to do the nacelles. The other thing to be really mindful of, and again, it's the thing that I didn't see yesterday. You have to fly within this window. So this is your nacelle window here. You have to fly within that window. Okay, so as we move forward, you'll see that as we move the nacelles down that window, it won't follow us, but it tells you basically the airspeed that we're operating in. And again, what I like is that stall warning a minute ago. it's very easy to lose sight of how quick you're descending. And as soon as I was past 1,000 feet, which is what it says in the manual, it throws in that warning, which is nice. The autopilot, we got that working today. I thought that worked quite well. The systems, again, I've identified that the FLIR, you couldn't really use the FLIR. It's fine, you're not going to use it anyway. Not in realistic terms anyway, in sense when you're flying, you're not going to use it. So it's not really that much of a problem. I do like the MCU. I do like the controls. And I actually do think it's okay. Again, for me personally, when I come out and I look at the stuff like this and the graphics, it does look like it's been done in Microsoft Paint. And again, I make no apologies for that. I mean, I don't know what they are, whether they're landing lights, but I know yesterday when I was looking, and I can't tell what they are. When I was looking yesterday, it seemed like the lights were coming from above, but there's nothing here that tells me where the lights are coming from. Again, the landing gear, not very realistic. That one's a little bit better than the rear ones. But again, it depends on what you're looking for. If you've never seen a landing gear in your life, you've never worked on them, they probably look okay. But again, they just look like they've been created on paint. But I am sure that, as Miltech have said, they are going to create a second version of this, a V2. I'm sure it'll be fine. So, what do I pay? I think 20 quid. I think 20 quid is reasonable. 30 quid too much. I think if they improved it, they may be pushing for £30. We'll see. It'd be nice to see this in career mode. PMDG commented actually on a video of mine because I asked the question about it, and they've just basically said, let's read what they've said. PMDG. So the question was that I put on them was basically, is the 737 going to be able to be used in career mode? They've said career is an open issue, not so easy with the complexity we have, agreed, but all our products are scheduled for release on PS5. When it's fully in the hands of Microsoft and Sony, we have no control over that. So, read between the lines. Some of the aircraft are available for career mode. I'm guessing they're just a bit easier to integrate. I don't pity the people that are trying. Okay, that are trying to get these aircraft out on PS5, because I can imagine just the complexity of it is a challenge. So yeah. Let's have a look here, because I've just seen a pilot in the window. Okay, hang on a minute. Where's he gone now? There was just a pilot in that window. If I come through it again, so I was going to go see if he was next to me. Is he there again now? No, okay. Let's have a quick look around the cockpit and down the back. So again, that's something I've not done on this one. Windows, can't open the windows. Let me just see if they're latched. No, again, they look like windows. They've obviously got the lock there. They've got the hinges, so I'm guessing they're windows. They're not operable. I'm not sure. That's obviously just the seatbelt mechanism. The jump seat, not operable. Handle is operable though. This is the back. Okay, you got your wheel jack. Fire extinguisher, again, just not looking all that realistic. I don't know what the inside of an Osprey looks like. It's one aircraft that I've never been in. Whether it looks like this, I don't know. Does the wing fold work? Yeah, give me a second, I'll show you. And then the hydraulic cables here. I can't see, unless it's these switches, the ability to drop the ramp from inside here. And again, whilst I know with the aircraft that I've worked on before with ramps, there is the ability to do it from the ramp itself. However, the controls are in here. If I very quickly show you, I mean, you can see it at the beginning of the stream, but just for anyone that's now watching that weren't here at the start, we can go through it. So let me just quickly run the APU. And get that running. And we'll get the engines off. There we go. Run. I'm just going to do this on the runway. Throttle control levers to idle, nacelles are at 90 degrees, parking brake set. Oh, actually, I'll tell you what, did I put those nacelles on 90 degrees? They're currently at 97. They'll sort that out, I'm sure. We'll see. Wonder if you can do that. Can you do these? There we go. So set to 90 degrees. There we go. Cool. Let's see how good the rotor brake is. Now, again, I know there's limits for putting rotor brake on in real world aircraft. How far? Now, NR rotor speed is 0. Our rotors are still spinning. Yeah, and so that's obviously a bit of a fault there. Are they still spinning now? Yeah. Let's see if the rotor brake works, whether it's actually functional. Yeah, cool. Ideal. Okay, we'll go through the checklist for this. So from flight ready to full stow, engine control levers are off, NI is 0, rotor brake is, let's turn that off. I'll show you how to do it. Rotor brake is off. Battery is on, APU is on run. Hydraulic pressure is normal, we've just seen that, 5,000. There we go, 5,023. Area is clear on a runway at the moment. MFD. We'll do it on this one. System. Blade fold. It says rotor lock. And then if you click full stow, and we go outside, we'll see it all happening in a second. At the moment, it's just carrying out its flaps, rotor locks on. But it's adjusting the flaps, as you can see, look there. Now what should happen is the nacelles will lower. And the blades haven't folded yet. They should index and lock. See what's going on. Fold blades, they should be folding now. There we go. Just takes its time. Flap 0 position to 0 degrees. Here comes the fold. We've gone for a full stow on this, haven't we? Yeah, we've gone for a full stow. You hear the brake fold actuators there. There we go. Again, I do like the sound of the motor. You see why these things crash often. They're so technologically advanced. Like, there you are. And that is it. You go into the display. Sorry, you go inside. Let's say in sequence complete. And that is it. So we'll put it to bed. So for me, again, I've still got the same gripes as before. You can't load up in the sim in it at a gate. It wouldn't let me do that. I tried for over half hour earlier on, it wouldn't let me do it. I had to start on a runway. So something they've got to look at. The flight manual has definitely made things easier for me. So if you have a flight manual, if you do have access to it, read it and use it. If you don't, it is on their website. And again, I think I've said my opinion on it enough now. Good aircraft. I wouldn't pay £30 for it. I'd pay 20. I think 20 at the moment for its current state is worth it. I'm sure that as they get better, it will get better. So that's the wing fold working. I'll quickly show you it unfolding, and then that will be it. So if I go now to full ready, it's going through the initialization to flight ready now. There we go. See it now unfolding the wings. I wonder if it's got an interlock. I wonder if it allowed me to start an engine. No, that's good. So it's got interlocks that work as well, which is cool. If there is anyone currently in the stream that wants to see anything quickly before I finish the video for the day, please do let me know. I'll stay on for another 5-10 minutes if anyone does want to ask any questions about it. Cool, that's pretty much done. Cool. Okay, and yeah, if there's anyone that has got any questions, just let me know and we'll quickly go through it. And right at the end, once we go to flight ready, you have to unlock the rotors, and it does that automatically. And what we'll do now, I'm going to quickly go and give it one quick buzz, and then that'll be the end of the stream. I don't think it's a custom sound. I've definitely heard that sound before. That's the other thing as well, look. So all the gauges on the outside, if you have a look there, all zeros. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Again, it's just something that's not quite there for me yet. So it's showing at max all the time. Okay, that's number 2. Put that into flight. Get number 1 and to start. There we are. Again, I disagree with that straight away. The engine's only just run and the generator's gone out. Usually it has to wait till it gets to a certain speed. That's only just started and the generator's coming online. Again, I don't know if that's a real thing with the Osprey. but based on basically my knowledge, you have to wait really until your aircraft's up and running for the generator to come online at 400 hertz. Wait for the hides to come up. We can have a look through the menus as well. Let's get the APU off. I'll tell you what we can do. Let's have a look at what it looks like at night. Let's go for... There we go. Engine, I forget to my APU actually. So where are the nav lights? Okay, so let's come up here. Cockpit dome light. Okay. Instrument lights, get those up. Okay, let's get the dome light off. Let's get night mode, MVG. No, night mode. Primary lighting, let's have a look. Co-pilot, overhead lighting, a little bit there, we'll go for slight illumination. There we go. Pilot, slight illumination, let's have a look. That looks pretty cool. Where are our nav lights? Not going to nav lights, they're not working. So let's go through here. Lights. Okay, so apparently, let's set them on again. Let's do flashing. Let's do steady actually. Master on and off, let's try that. Next ones. Okay, tip light off and bottom. Okay, so hopefully we've now got lights. No, where are they? Why aren't the tip lights working? Let's see what happens when we click flash. Okay. Let's try tip only. Nothing. Both. MVG. No. Okay, so I'm not quite sure why they're not working. I wonder if they only come on. I wonder if their weight and wheels activated. Let's have a look, shall we? So let's have a look and see if there might be just to protect the eye. No, because I'm sure I've seen them on the ground. No. So we'll get the park and brake off because I've just put that on, I think. Okay. Here they come. Get these nacelles down. You can see I'm in the corridor, going for that full range of travel already. Let's climb. Here they come. Currently on the edge of the corridor. A moment climb. Oh no, wasn't looking. Okay, here we go. And climb. There we go. So again, they're not on. Formation lights are on, strobes are on, but the formation lights aren't. The tip lights aren't, which is a shame. But they were. I saw them on earlier on, so they might come on magically. I don't know. Cool. We're gonna go around here and then we'll turn. We'll come back. It's spooky, isn't it? Take a flight over Cornwall. Haven't tested the autopilot mode yet. As in like the landing. I can't remember can't remember reading if this has got approach or anything on it. It's obviously got localizer mode, whether it's got approach mode I don't know, whether it's got autopilot landing. It's a bit bouncy at the moment. It's a bit weird looking outside, there's no wind. And I'm flying over to the left. Okay, gonna whack it around to the left. .30 of bank, we just exceeded that by quite a bit. Using the gyro, I'm still climbing, let's descend. Can't see anything at the moment, trust in my instruments. We do have someone else with us. Okay, we're at 8,000. Let's bring that down and get down. Got someone over there, look. That Coldra's with us, I think. There we are. Okay, that's way exceeding the bank limit, that. Okay, here we go. We're coming down. It's very unsteady. Going to reduce that speed. Reduce that height straight away. There's Halston there. Which means Coldra is right above us, look. There it is. So right below us. Okay, don't exceed 250. It's bumpy. Around. And then we're going to come back in. It does like to travel on that stick, that's for sure. Look at that, hardly putting anything into it. Okay. There we go. Hello, doggo. Just got a dog that's just come and visit me and pushed my throttle to 0. Lovely. Thanks, dog. Got Cold Rose there, just to my left. Okay, let's go and land. Let's see if we can do this in the dark. Gonna lower that speed. Sit there as we come around. There we go, there's the runway. So gonna bring the speed down nicely. Gonna bring those nacelles out now. 155 to 160. There we go, there's that shove that we experienced in the first review, in the first bit earlier on. Again, it'd be nice if we can see the tip light, sorry. We're going to do a run in landing, I think. Now it says here, short VTOL, what speed? Let's have a look. Short VTOL. Short takeoff and landing. Nacelles at 60 degrees, 50 to 80 knots, okay? Nacelles at 60 degrees, I'm going to have to zoom in for this. So let's come in, 50 to 60 knots, I need to burn that off. Let's get those down, 50 to 60 degrees, we're in that range at the moment looking at it. So there we go, let's get that speed. Get that height. go. So we need to slow down. There we go. So we're going to slow down now. Currently 47, you can't really see it. There it comes, we can put a bit more in. Let's go to 60 degrees. There we go, 60. Cool, so we've missed the runway a little bit, but we're okay. A little bit fast. Oh no. There we go. It's showing us 4 whites there. Oh, missing it. Come on. Let's get over. Nah. Let's focus in on everything else. I've missed the runway. I'm not quite proficient enough with this yet to do it at night. Yeah. Not quite proficient enough to do it at night. So I'm expecting to crash this now. Yeah. I'll get better at that. Let's get these back up. $90 degrees. Yeah, not quite good enough at it yet, doing the landings and the takeoffs. I don't know why I tried it in the dark, but yeah. Cool. Let's tip that forward. And let's go back to light mode, shall we? There we go. Cool, right, that is going to be the end of the stream. I'll just go and plant this back down there. Yeah, that's what we said about earlier on. Going to go plunk this down here. Applying it completely out of its envelope now. Okay, there we go. Bang. Alright, cool. There we are. Thank you very much for watching. 7 out of 10 for me. 6.5, 7 out of 10. It's the mind's changed a little bit. Thank you very much. See you soon.